Something strange happens in the first 3 seconds after someone sees you, and you never notice it. Before you speak, before you smile, before you even decide how to stand, their brain has already placed you somewhere on an invisible scale. Not based on your achievements, not your intelligence, not your personality, but on signals so small you don't even feel yourself sending them. And here's the unsettling part. Most people spend their whole lives trying to look valuable while unconsciously broadcasting the opposite. If you want to understand the silent behaviors that make people respect you without trying, stay with me. And if you're new to Mind Shift Motivated, subscribe now, because this channel is where we decode the hidden psychology shaping how people see you and how you see yourself. Most people panic when they're misunderstood. It feels uncomfortable, like your identity is slipping out of your hands. So they rush to explain, correct, justify, clarify every tiny detail. But the faster someone tries to fix how they're perceived, the more unstable they appear. Psychological security moves differently. When someone grounded is misunderstood, they don't instantly defend themselves. They pause. They observe. They decide if the misunderstanding actually matters. If it affects something meaningful, they clarify, simply. If not, they let time correct it, because they know something most people never learn. Temporary misperception does not change real value. The human brain reads urgency as fragility. Calmness feels like certainty, and certainty feels like authority. When you stop scrambling to control every impression, people stop seeing you as someone who needs approval to stay intact. Another moment most people mishandle happens under pressure. Someone challenges you, interrupts, questions your competence. In that instant, something primitive activates inside the nervous system. Heart rate rises, speech speeds up, muscles tighten. Reaction takes over. But reaction is automatic, response is intentional, and the brain instantly detects the difference. The person who pauses, breathes, and answers slowly communicates something powerful without saying it directly. They signal control over their internal state, and control over emotion is interpreted as control over situations. This is why the most regulated person in a tense moment often becomes the psychological reference point of the room, even if nobody consciously realizes it. Composure quietly wins status exchanges long before logic enters the conversation. Then there is something that feels almost uncomfortable in modern life: not being instantly available. We live in a world where speed is expected, immediate replies, immediate access, immediate accommodation. But constant availability sends a subtle message that your time has no structure, no hierarchy, no protected priorities. People who carry quiet value don't respond impulsively to everything that reaches them. They don't rearrange their day for every request. Their time is intentionally allocated. And when access to someone is structured, interaction with them gains psychological weight. Scarcity sharpens attention. Predictability earns respect. Boundaries tell people how seriously to take your presence without you ever needing to announce it. Under stress, the body reveals what the mouth tries to hide. Tiny movements betray internal tension: restless shifting, rushed gestures, tightened jaw, rapid blinking. These signals activate something ancient in observers, a detection of unease, of instability, of threat. But when someone remains physically steady under pressure, breathing slow, posture grounded, movements minimal, the opposite signal appears: safety, control, containment. Humans are wired to perceive the least threatened person as the most dominant, not aggressive, just unshaken. What many people call presence is simply nervous system discipline made visible. Attention is another invisible battlefield. Some people chase it constantly, filling silence, interrupting, speaking just to remain noticed. But attention that is chased rarely holds value. It feels noisy, crowded, replaceable. When someone speaks less but with intention, their words gain density. Silence becomes contrast, and contrast creates magnetism. The brain naturally leans toward what stands out from the noise, not louder, just rarer. Stillness in communication creates psychological gravity, and people are drawn toward gravity without understanding why. But the deepest shift happens when someone is willing to walk away, not dramatically, not emotionally, just quietly, cleanly, without resistance. When an interaction becomes unbalanced, disrespectful, draining, most people fight to fix it. They argue, persuade, prove, cling to resolution. But detachment communicates something words never can, that your well-being is not dependent on the outcome. Independence alters power instantly. When others sense you're not trapped in the exchange, they feel the shift. Value is always higher where need is lower. All of these behaviors, calm clarification, emotional regulation, structured availability, physical steadiness, selective attention, quiet detachment, they are not separate skills. They are expressions of one internal pattern, self-regulation. Not coldness, not distance, not superiority, regulation. When your emotions don't spike uncontrollably, when your time is protected, when your reactions are intentional, when your presence is grounded, your identity stabilizes, and stability is deeply reassuring to the human mind. People trust what feels anchored. They respect what feels contained. They follow what feels steady. Most individuals try to increase their value externally, better appearance, sharper speech, louder confidence. But external signals cannot compensate for internal instability. The nervous system always tells the truth eventually. Real value rises from internal order, not external performance. And something surprising happens when you stop chasing validation, stop over-explaining, stop reacting automatically, stop needing every interaction to confirm your worth. Your energy changes, not dramatically, but subtly, but people feel it. You don't need to convince anyone to take you seriously. Your regulation communicates seriousness before you speak. This isn't about becoming distant from people. It's about becoming centered within yourself, because centered individuals don't pull attention, they hold it. They don't demand respect, they evoke it. They don't force influence, they radiate stability. And stability is rare. What is rare is valued. What is valued is protected. What is protected is respected. So the next time you walk into a room, remember, the evaluation has already begun before words exist, not based on what you claim, but on how regulated your presence feels. Master that, and people will sense your worth long before they understand it.